Welcome to Habits and Humor, where you come to make serious progress without taking life too seriously. This podcast shows how we can create powerful daily habits and enjoy life at the same time. I'm Susie B, and this is Habits and Humor. Come to laugh, stay to learn, choose to live. Welcome to Habits and Humor. I am Susie B. This is a discussion about your brain. We're jumping right into the content today because I want to help you guys to learn quickly from our incredible guest today. We've got a fabulous guest today who's an expert in all things RAS, which is your brain's filter. If you don't know a lot about this process, it is an incredibly powerful tool that you actually have total control of, but most of us don't know that, and most of us don't know how to use it. So we're going to jump right into that today. If you're new to the show, welcome. We're happy to have you guys here. On this show, we like to keep things simple, straightforward, and we like to help you take away some action. So as we go along here, feel free to ask questions and we will be answering them as we go. There is a question answer session at the end for our Habitize Health clients and anyone who wants to join us live today. So if you would like to be here live on the Q&A session, feel free to jump onto the Zoom call. I will drop that link in the comments in just a moment. But let's get right into it. Kate, welcome to the show, Kate McCauley.
Hello, and thank you for having me. I'm so excited. I'm obsessed with the brain, and I cannot wait to share all these tips for you and everyone to steal.
I love it. I love that you're obsessed with the brain. This is my favorite. So you guys, this is, I'm just going to jump right into it. So one of the things that I had the hardest time with was postpartum depression that I didn't know that I had, and it totally changed my brain. Talk to me about how the brain changes so rapidly, whether it be a chemical change or an emotional change. Like how exactly does the brain change so rapidly from one experience to the next based on experience or trauma or whatever?
Sure. Researchers used to think that the brain was static and it was fixed, like your shoe size. Like you're going to stay a size 8. And then over time, researchers have learned that there's elasticity there. It's plastic and you can mold it, which if you do it correctly and you tap into it, you can literally change any area of your life. Now, with that being said, when you mentioned the postpartum depression, what we focus on really does become our reality. And without getting too into the science, but giving you a little bit, you will have neuroconnections and new pathways that are created. And then that cell wall will come up and it becomes resilient and strong. And this is what you do, girl. This is what we focus on. This is what we think about. Now, if you can learn some tricks to pause, flip the script, change what you're thinking and telling your brain. And I'm going to give you a tip later called watch. Remind me to come back to that with people you're surrounding yourself with. You can literally create new neural pathways. And then those old areas and that cell wall will become thinner and they will break down. Doesn't mean that they're gone. They're still there. And you could slip back into that. So you do need to continuously work on this. It's not a magic pill. So it's something that takes practice, just like going to the gym. If you're lifting weights or you're doing yoga, you can't do one day of working on your arms and you're completely buff. You can't take yoga once and think I'm the most flexible person in the world.
Dang it, why not? That would be way easier.
I wish. I joke with some of my friends, like I ate a salad today. Am I in perfect shape? Probably. But the same goes for your brain. So if we focus on this and we can work on your brain, you literally can change it. And I'll share one story and then you can jump into any questions you have here. But think about the time you were shopping for a car. You were in the market for a car and you start thinking about that car that you want to purchase. I'm going to use a Jeep for an example. Let's say you wanted to purchase a Jeep. You started seeing Jeeps everywhere. You were driving, you're like, there's a Jeep. You're out for a walk in your neighborhood and you notice, oh my gosh, my neighbor has a Jeep. I didn't know they had a Jeep. And what a coincidence, right? You hear things on the radio, ads on TV. I'm telling you that all of those things were there before. But your particular activating system, that RAS for short, we call it. It's easier to say RAS. That is the area, it's in the back of your brain, and it works with other areas of your brain, but that is the area that you can retrain. And because you are now focusing on that Jeep and buying a car, you probably have taken some action. You went to test drive it. You're looking which dealers have the best deals going on right now. Which weekend should I go? Jeep sale. You're seeing all these things. That is because what we focus on becomes our reality. And then next thing, you're sitting there and you're taking action and you're signing the papers to get that Jeep that you love. And then you're on the road and you're like, oh my gosh, look at all these Jeep people. And you have the Jeep wave and all that stuff. I don't have a Jeep, but that's just an example of how our brain can shift. And I can give you lots of different stories like that related to when you have kids, different things where, if someone says your name, if someone turns and says, or you hear someone say Susie, you're going to turn your head because your brain thinks that's important to you. So what we focus on becomes our reality, and we can shift that focus, retrain the brain.
Beautiful. So what's important to you? Let's just jump right into it then with the health side of it. So this is a lot of the people that I work with are working on improving their health. And a huge aspect of that is body image.
Sure.
This is one thing that we think about often. When you look in the mirror and you see the parts of you that you want to change, or you look back and you think, oh, I used to be able to do this, or I wish I could still do that, or there's just so many negative emotions that we feel about our body. How do we reprogram our brain? How do we target that RAS in order to improve our body image?
So there's a lot of ways to do this, but I'm going to start with something very simple. I am statements. So if you take an I am statement, if we're talking about body image, I am beautiful. I love this body. At first, it is going to feel really awkward, and that imposter syndrome, the saboteur voice inside your brain is going to say, are you kidding me, Kate? You don't love this body. We don't feel beautiful. Look at this. You're going to be pointing out all of the things that negative self-talk is floating through your brain. And just like I told you, it is not a magic pill. You need to be using that tool. A lot of tools, but if we're going to take the I am statement for self-body image here, self-talk, you need to use that tool when you wake up in the morning. You need to use that tool before you go into a situation that you anticipate. Let's say you're going out and you're going to get into an outfit and check yourself out, and you anticipate that you are going to have those feelings floating, those thoughts and feelings. That is when you are going to use that I am statement. Then you're going to use it in the moment. You're going to say, I love my body. I am beautiful. I am strong. And they can be uniquely yours. You can create them. The more specific you are, the better for what you're trying to work on. And then after you feel those negative feelings and the thoughts, you think them, say it again. Literally start saying this over and over. You can connect it and stack it with a routine you already have. You brush your teeth every day, right? Stack that habit. After you brush your teeth, you probably are near a mirror. I want you to look at yourself and say that I am statement to yourself. Your brain already knows, and days can get crazy. I have 3 kids, all teenagers. So believe me, the world
It gets crazy for sure.
Yes, especially in the morning before I'm brushing my teeth. But you typically have a routine when you brush your teeth. You don't even realize that you do it. Your brain, that reticular activating system, has those processes for you. The Jeep thing comes in new. When we add these I am statements, that'll be a new thing. But over time, it's just something you do. Brushing your teeth. You're not thinking, I have to pick up the toothbrush. When you were little, if you're teaching someone how to brush your teeth, you have to do this, and then you have to spit.
How much toothpaste do I put on, and where do I put it? Yeah, you don't have to think about that stuff anymore.
You don't, thank goodness, because our brain could not process all of the things that we do every single day. You have these routines to make it easier. So that is a routine you already do. Stack that I am statement with it. And then every time you think about the I am statement, say it to yourself, say it out loud. I did this for myself as a business owner. I left my career as an educator. I was there for 20 years. I had to retrain my brain. That is no longer what I do every single day. And now I'm a business owner. I did this for my son, who has a uniquely beautiful brain, has some learning disabilities. I've done it for countless women, business owners. And when people finally start to see the change happen, they're like, are you a witch doctor? This is crazy. But it's all about the brain and retraining it. And the more you do it, when you say those I am statements, like I am in this body and I love every curve of this body, whatever you put in that I am statement or affirmation, you then will start to believe it, because our brain doesn't know the difference between reality and what we are telling it. And when you continuously tell yourself those things about positive self-talk, we're talking about our body image right now, then you will start to take more action to love your body more. There's a lot of research around when you move, your brain grooves. So when your body moves, your brain grooves, right? So then we start moving and taking a walk and saying those I am statements. You're doing the things to keep your body healthy, eating healthy, drinking your water, all these different things. And you're saying the I am statement. You're obsessed with this I am statement. That's what I want you to do. So that's one way that we could start retraining.
Okay, so with the I am statements, do you keep the statement the same or do you adapt it over time?
I love that you asked that because it is your choice. I would say don't give yourself too many. I had someone one time who wrote out 11. I'm like, girl, slow down. Baby steps, right? We're going to do 1% better each day. Let's just start with one. I would start with one and then you can shift it. So for me, I started saying when we're talking about what I do in business, I am a speaker. I am a coach. I started saying those things and then I shifted it and I created a new one, which relates to that. And every day I say, I am the missing piece to every opportunity that presents itself to me. So I start saying different things. Maybe I add in, I am a speaker for, and I add something to that. You can definitely change it. Just you reach a goal and you create a new one. You can change those I am statements. There's a lot of research around it. How quick does this happen? People are like, when will I start seeing it? And it depends. If you're going to stack it to a habit and do it every day, if you're really going to start doing this, I'll give you one more tip here. Before you go to sleep, if you really want to get your brain moving, get off your phone, stop looking at other things that are distracting, and lay there and start saying that I am statement, whatever you start with, and you create the new one, you add on to it or change it. And then I want you to visualize yourself as that person, not an outsider looking in, but actually feel it. What are you saying? Who are you with? Where are you? Literally, what are you wearing when you are saying, like, I love this body, I love these curves, whatever you decide to do with that self-image there, and it's unique for everyone as it should be. I want you to visualize that. And then your brain you're going to sleep with those thoughts. And you'll see over time, there's research behind this too. If you start doing this, and you can try it, if you don't believe me, try it on a simple level. There's someone who said, start thinking about climbing a ladder or going up like steps of something to reach for something. Start doing that for a couple nights. And then you will find yourself, oh my gosh, here I am doing it. Because your brain is saying, your subconscious, when you're sleeping there, this is what we do. We're visualizing it. Again, it takes work. And what happens is your brain will start to say, this is what we believe. And because you believe this, now we do this. So
beautiful. So the thought, the belief leads to the action, and then the action leads to the result. So it's a process a little bit. And nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that it's a process and that it takes time and that I have to be consistent with it. But that's the reality of it, guys.
You're right. And when we go to school, and I love teachers, I was one, my mother was one. I'm obsessed with teachers, just like I am the brain. But when we're in school, we learn subject matters, but we don't always learn how to learn. So when you learn how to learn and retrain your brain, you can use this for so many different areas of your life. So it's worth a shot to go through the process because you're leaving some things out there that could really improve your life and make you happier, healthier, and you deserve that.
Absolutely. What about the self-sabotage part of a brain? We start into this, we work into it a little bit. We all know that after about 3 to 4 weeks, your brain starts to fight you back. If you don't know that, it does. About 3 to 4 weeks, the change concept comes in and your brain's, we're looking for a pattern here, but we haven't quite found it yet. So you got this gap of where your brain starts to fight you. Your subconscious and conscious are odds a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of lag time there. What shift do we need to make at that point where it starts to feel hard, where it starts to feel disconnected?
You know how when you start something new, you're like, yes, let's do it. I'm so excited. And then something happens, life, whatever, when we go back to that, those things are still in your brain. So it's easy for you to slip back into those negative thought patterns, and you can get into what they call a doom loop where you're just, oh, I gave up again. Look at me, here I am again. And that's what your brain is focused on. So for that, honestly, I would tell you that you need accountability. You need a support group around you. I told you I was going to share WATCH with you, and I love acronyms. I use it for my son and myself. So WATCH really stands for the words that you're saying is the W. A stands for action. And we talked about taking that action. T stands for the thoughts that are coming through your brain and the thoughts that other people are pouring into your brain. There's people that unknowingly sabotage you because they don't want to lose you. And they're not necessarily like haters. They are comfortable with this version of you.
Hmm.
And when they are pouring those thoughts into your brain, then you're starting to think, who is she to be posting about her workouts because she's keeping herself accountable with her group? Like, really, like we memes and different things that influence you. So then your brain goes back to that. So those thoughts. The C stands for character, and then H is habits for watch. And the reason why I'm sharing that with you is you are the average of the 5 people that you associate with most often. And that can be online, that can be in person. And I'm probably talking to people in your group that are like, yeah, we want to do good things in our life and create these habits. So when you feel yourself going back to that, you need a group or a person or something that will trigger you to stay on the path, because life happens and it's messy. And you need someone to be your cheerleader, to be that support system to feed your brain. Because when you hear that, you're more likely to keep going. It's really easy for us to slip back into those old thought patterns because they've been there for so long. And
Yeah.
your brain's like, oh, wait, we have this over here. And the right brain and the left brain, I told you I'm obsessed with the brain. You can do things to train the right brain and left brain. I'm going to give you one right now, and anyone who's watching. So if you
Yes,
put your
please.
thumb up like this, and then you point your other hand, your finger towards it, I want you to point in opposite directions.
My son had me doing this the other day. I really
Yeah.
struggle with this.
So sometimes people will find that like you're shooting guns. Now, if you see me doing it, I can
Oh,
do it pretty easily. And it's rare to see me going like this. And people get so frustrated if I share that with them because they're like, what? That is the right and the left brain. And different sides of the brain is that saboteur and that wisdom piece where you're creative, taking action, using those I am statements. So when you train your brain and do different things, now throw a walk in, you're outside and you start doing that, you're taking it up a whole nother level for a lot of reasons. Like I told you, when you move, you're moving your body, your brain's grooving. Also, you got the outside, the nature part. You always hear people say, I get my best ideas when I'm outside. There's a reason for those things, and it all comes back to the brain. So that's what I would say. If you feel yourself slipping back, you also could simply talk back and flip the script. You feel that thought coming in and saying, ugh, look at like my mom pooch or whatever, if it's your self-image there. And you could then talk back and say, okay, I have 3 kids. I'm working on this. I'm putting myself on the list. Talk back to that negative self-talk, because just as it's coming in, you can say something back and have a conversation. People might think you're a little strange if you're out at the, store getting the groceries and you're like, seriously, screw you. Stop saying that to me. But talk back, even if you're not saying it out loud. And it's a simple trick of flip the script.
absolutely. I have a habit trick that I use with a lot of my clients where I call it the one happy thought. If you have one thing that you absolutely love about yourself, and then when that negative self-talk comes in, you can stop that negativity train. You just stop the pattern with that one thought. But it's
Love it.
impossible. It's almost impossible to come up with that thought during the negativity train. So you
It is.
actually have to have it beforehand. So all of you guys, I want you to think of, if you're wanting, if most of your negative self-talk comes to you through body image or something physical related, I want you to come up with your favorite physical body part. There's something on your body that you love. Maybe it's your hair, maybe it's your eyelashes, maybe it's your fingernail beds, maybe it's whatever it is. Find
Sure.
something physical on your body that you love. And then when you start to, pick yourself apart, or if you're frustrated one day or you're having a hard moment where this negativity train starts to come at you of, I need to change that, I should be able to do this, you know what? I have great calves. I love my calves. I really love my calves. I
And
have great
go
calves.
all in. I love
Yes.
this trick. Go all in. Like literally write a love letter to your calves while you're talking, like, woo, go all in, because then your brain is in a totally different place now. I love this trick. I'm going to steal it for my clients that I work with.
Do it,
So
do it. I call it the one happy thought. And it really,
love
there's
it.
a ton of, I could bury you in research on this too, but the whole point of it is to prepare yourself before the time is needed. So
Right.
you guys come right now, come up with your favorite body part, write it down somewhere so that you can remember, okay, this is my favorite thing about myself physically. And then when that time comes, you can just pop that out, just pull it up quickly because you'll need it. And
Sure.
it, again, creates a new pattern. It creates a new direction for your mind to go. All right.
Love it.
So we're talking about body image. We're talking about self-talk. We're talking about all of this kind of stuff. How do we make it last? Like, how do we make this be a permanent thing? For me personally, we're going through postpartum depression. It took a solid probably 4 to 5 weeks of doing this habit of talking to myself in the mirror every single day. And the first 2 to 3 weeks, I felt totally disconnected from it. Second 2 to 3 weeks was super emotional. And then
Yeah.
it finally started to sink in for me. So for me personally, it's about 5 to 6 weeks. What's your experience with how consistent do we need to be before it starts to last?
Oh, girl, I would say 6 weeks, 8 weeks, somewhere around there, you would start to see, and other people start to notice it. That imposter syndrome will creep in at random times when you're attempting to make change in your life. So you have to keep coming back to it. And like you had mentioned earlier, change it up a little bit, add new things in there, because it's just a part of life that it's a flight or fight like part, trying to keep yourself safe. Research has shown that when you have those negative thoughts come in, they're really only valuable for about 1 to 3 seconds. If you touch a stove, of course, we want to not touch that hot thing again. So if you can push past those things when they come in and come back to it, you'll be more likely to keep this as a habit. It's tough because so many things in life there's like, I had someone do something crazy when I was a teacher, and it was like a violent situation in the parking lot, and that quickly my habits changed. And then there's research that maybe it takes 2 weeks, it takes 6 weeks. I have found when I'm working on it with myself, when I've done it with my son and different clients, that over the course of about 6 to 8 weeks, they really start to own those I am statements and the shift of your mindset. But I will say that it does require you to stay long term, because I can tell you, say it in the morning, say it when you brush your teeth. But if you're not following through with those things and you don't have someone to really check on you when you're setting a goal, I use a SMART goal technique. And part of that is the SMART, measurable. How many times do you want to say this? If we're saying it 10 times a day, you can measure that. Did I actually do this 10 times a day? Just like I want to go to the gym twice a week, 3 times a week, every day, whatever. You have to be able to measure it and then go back and say, okay, where am I? Assess that and celebrate it along the way. Because when you're taking action and you're feeling good in your body, since we're talking about loving our body, celebrate those little wins, cheer yourself on. We don't do that enough. We do it for other people, but we don't do it enough for ourselves. So that will help that habit and the mindset shift happen a little bit quicker. So I'm always
Totally.
leery to say exactly when, because then people will be like, you told me at 8 weeks, you know? So, but I would say, I'm just going through the files in my brain right now, somewhere around 6 to 8 weeks is when people really start telling me like, wow, I'm noticing that I'm different.
Hmm, interesting. Yeah. For those of you that are new to this whole consistency process, you don't have to be perfect to reframe this brain. If you're thinking, okay, I got to do 75 hard and I have to do 100% or I have to start over, that's actually not reality. That is a one philosophy, but it is not the way that your brain is wired. So all you need is for your on days to outnumber your off days. Your brain just needs a recognizable pattern. So the sooner you can create that pattern, 3 in a row is a great start. You can go 3 days in a row, you're going to see some differences. If you can go 3 weeks in a row, but you don't have to be perfect. Maybe you got 5 days out of 7, all 3 of those weeks. Great. That's progress. As long as you're doing a little bit better this week than you did last week, you'll always be moving in the right direction. So for those of us that are thinking, all right, I want to write some I am statements, but I don't know where to start. I've just pulled up Chat GPT here.
There you
Guys,
go.
you can harness the power of AI to help you with this.
Sure.
So I said, write me a statement, a I am statement for body image. And this is what I came up with. Tell me if you resonate with this. Type in drop an emoji in the comments if you like this one. I am confident, embracing my unique beauty and celebrating the strength of my body. I like that.
Love it.
And then I wrote, write me a fun I am statement for body image. I'm always looking for the humorous side of things. And
Right.
it says, I am fierce, fabulous masterpiece, rocking my body with sass and confidence.
AI's coming in hot today. I love it.
So you guys, if you're like, I don't know where to start with this, AI will do it for you. This is a beautiful place to start. I'm loving this.
Sure, sure, absolutely. And then I would challenge, if you find one or you create one, share it. If you have one now, share it in the comments or share it in your group. And then I have them, I'm pointing over here in my office. I have them written on my marker board for my business purposes. I know we were talking about the mirror. If you're okay with it, you have a Sharpie marker, write it on there. So when you look at yourself, and if that's a time when maybe those negative thoughts are coming through your brain, there it is right there to remind you. I even have I am statements on my phone. So I categorized each area of my phone. So for example, payments like our mortgage, PayPal, different things. I have underneath there, I am rich. I did not believe that when I first started doing those things. When I'm checking in at the gym and different places, apps for doctors and things, I am healthy. So every time I open up those things and look at those things on my phone, even my social media apps, I am connected. So I look at all of those things and put a positive I am statement right there on my phone. So I'm reading it every time I open up my app to check into the gym, that I am healthy. So you can really put them in a lot of different places too to remind yourself. So if you steal one from AI or you have your own, write it down, share it with people, because I do find that especially females, that fierce female energy, when we share something with other people, like mine, I am the missing piece to every opportunity that presents itself to me. Another amazing woman shared that. And I'm like, can I steal that? She's like, it's all yours, because it's uniquely for what I'm doing in the world.
Beautiful. Awesome. I love this so much. So you guys, when I started with I am statements, back when I was doing my mental health process, I started with 5. They were like, I can narrow it down to, I wanted to say all of these. I wanted to believe all of these things. So I wrote them all down. I stuck them on sticky notes because it's hard to remember 5 things. So I wrote them on sticky notes on my mirror and I'd read them every day to myself. Over the course of the first 2 months, you guys know how much I love the 1, 2, 3 process. So I do everything for 2 months. And after about 2 months, 3 of them stuck with me. I absolutely loved those 3. So I kept those 3, moved them to a different mirror. I have 2 mirrors in my room. So moved them to a different mirror. And those are the 3 that I say when I'm brushing my teeth, ironically. That's already have it stacked for me.
Love
So
it.
then I started a new 3 and I would do a new 5. And then I narrowed it down to those ones that I loved the most. So now there's about 6 that I have over the course of a couple of years, even just really connected with, that I really loved the most or I needed the most. And
Sure.
those are the ones that I currently have up there right now that I say to myself often. Not every day. Like I said, you don't have to be perfect, but I see them every day and I say them to myself every time I need them. I love those things. So you guys, if you feel like this is too small, I don't know if this is going to work, try it. Worst case, you've said some nice things to yourself.
It's
You've
a
given
good
yourself a
beginning
compliment for
place.
2 months.
Exactly. It's a good beginning place. And then once you start to feel some changes, go a little bit deeper. I have one related again. I'm thinking about my board. Money flows easily to me. I am a attractor of my super, or I am a super attractor of my dream clients. And then I start to go a little bit deeper and say, I love to do this. If you're talking about self-image, I am a fierce feminine female. I love every inch of my body. Then you can start saying, I like to do this. Like you start adding on to those things so that you're not just staying in the brain, you're moving down. I speak kindly about my body. I love myself. I move this way. So you can start going a little bit deeper because, like you said, it can feel a little bit small at first. And then start small and then build upon it and see what happens. I'm telling you that you will probably come back and say to Susie, oh my goodness, I started saying this, and in a couple of weeks, this happened, or I noticed this. And then other people will notice it. They'll be like, what are you doing, girl? What are you doing? I want some of that. So
It's
yeah.
powerful. It seems that's the beauty of simplicity, you guys, is that it works. All this
Yes.
complicated stuff that
Yeah,
everybody's
stop
pushing out
making
there,
it so
like
hard. Exactly. You don't
keep it
need to make things
simple.
more difficult, right? We have enough hard things in life.
So one thing you mentioned there was I speak kindly about myself. If the struggle for you is that you're having a hard time doing this specific exercise, you're like, I don't feel connected to these statements at all because this isn't something that I do. Fine. Don't start there. Start with, I'm going to start saying these kind of things to myself.
Sure.
I am a person who speaks nicely to myself. Start
Right.
there. And then after you've learned, okay, I do speak nicely to myself, then you can start speaking nicely to yourself. So
Yeah.
start where you are. Like you don't have to go from 0 to 100. Go from 0 to
Exactly.
1, 1 to
And if
2.
you're having trouble, I talked about those people you surround yourself with, people that love and care about you, ask them, what do you think is great about me? Because a lot of times we are neglecting some areas that other people are thinking, wow, that's so impressive, or I'm inspired that you do this. So be open to listening, just like the mind isn't in that fixed state. allow yourself to have that open mindset to be able to grow with what other people see in you too, because then you can take that in and say, you know what? I really am, like, whatever they tell you. I don't want to, say what people are going to say, but whatever they tell you, if you're having trouble creating it on your own, start there. And then you could adjust to where you want it to be. Because I
Beautiful.
guarantee that people are looking at you and you don't even realize, and they are thinking, oh my goodness, and they have a long list of your amazing strengths, characteristics, and you're neglecting yourself
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not
It's hard to
making
see it in
that.
yourself.
It is, and for all of us. I do this work and I still think, oh, let's see about some things. So I myself have a coach because I need people to pour back into me. So
Right.
let other people do that for you.
Beautiful. So speaking of that, tell us what you have going on. And I know you're about to launch a couple of courses, a couple of coaching programs. Tell us a little bit about what you've got going on, and then we will open the room to a live question answer session. If you
Sure.
guys have questions, you can drop them in the comments now. If you want to come on the mic and ask them in person, go ahead and click the link in the comments. The link in the comments to join this call live. You're welcome to come in here with Kate and ask your questions to both Kate and
Yeah,
I.
I
And we're
love
happy
that.
to answer.
My teenagers are always like, you love chatting with everyone. So come on and ask. I would love to do that question and answer session. So what do I have going on? I like to tell people that I get to love people in a lot of different ways. At the end of my emails and everything, I always say love and brilliance. What am I doing? As I told you, I was an educator. So I am educating people how to retrain your brain. And to keep it short and simple, the things that are keeping you up at night, that's what I'm giving you tools for. So
Nice.
I do this with business owners. I have some one-to-one coaching with some business owners and some mostly women, and some are not business owners, but one-to-one I coach. And then I've just opened actually a course where we're going to do some group coaching. We're going to talk about the mind, but we're going to talk about the whole woman. That is just for females. And I think we'll share the link in there, but it is basically, we're going to get on calls. We're going to talk about these tools. We're going to celebrate your wins, see where you are, because I do truly believe that in community, especially women, we can really thrive. So that is an area that is new for me. And I'm excited to love those ladies within that group. What else am I doing? Oh, I'm speaking to a lot of different organizations, but right now my focus has been on educators. I'm going to be at a conference soon to talk with teachers about how they can love themselves and retrain their brain. Because if you know any educators or you are one, and education can mean a lot of different things, but these are actually classroom teachers, that sometimes we are neglecting ourselves and not pouring back into ourselves because you're taking care of all of your students and all of the responsibilities that come with that. And I get to love them. That's in November. I'm also running some workshops for businesses, business owners, mostly small business owners, where I'm going to go in and it's like a speaking engagement, but more of a workshop where we're going to practice right there in person and online how to retrain that brain. So
Awesome.
yeah, a
You got a
lot
lot
of
going
different
on,
people.
ladies.
I
Okay,
got
you're
a lot
gonna get
going
more
on.
information from her. You're gonna go to her brand new spanking website, and that website is, tell us, Kate.
It's kate-mccauley.com. So you
Okay,
can find,
KATE-MCAULEY.
you got it. Yep. And
All
then
right,
it'll
guys.
take you to all those different places. And I offer a free call. So if you want to jump on and say how you need some mindset love, or your team, your organization, you have a conference coming up, whatever it might be, we can figure it out. And I do love to create. So let's chat if you think, maybe.
Beautiful. Take advantage of that, you guys. Free session. She's offering you a free session. Get on here and take advantage.
Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys have questions, type them in the chat now. If you would like to join us live, realize that every week or every time we have a guest on these, we have a specific link for the live show. The replay is up for my Habitize Health members. So if you're like, hey, I'm watching this on a replay and I wanted to take part in that, jump in here, get in Habitize Health. That's one huge benefit of this program, is that anytime we have a guest, or excuse me, anytime we have a client in here that has something that's beyond my scope of practice, I bring somebody in who can help with that specific thing. Right now, we needed somebody who has some self-image, some body image, self-talk issues. So that's why Kate is here. Like, I specifically reach out to specific guests who can answer your questions. So if you're like, all right, I want to do this health program, but there might be more things that I need, I got you. I've got you. Come on in, join Habitize Health, and this is where you can catch the replays. We've got a whole library of previous guests, live Q&As, all this good stuff. If you want to join the Q&A, go ahead and click the link in the comments here. Come join us now. We're going to stop this live stream. So for those of you that are joining us on Facebook, thanks for being here. And please tune in next time live, or if you'd like to catch these replays, reach out to me and I can talk to you more about Habitize Health. Thank you, Kate, for being here. And those of you that are here, stay here. Thanks for joining us this week on Habits and Humor, where you come to learn about health and habits and then take action. If you're ready to take action, join our free Healthy Habit Challenges every month in the Healthy Habits Facebook group, where we master one healthy habit at a time. It's fast, it's fun, and it's free. So whether you're feeling overwhelmed, confused, or frustrated by your health, or you just want to feel good about your body and your habits, get in here. Go to group.suziebhabits.com to join, or DM me at SuziBHabits. That's SUZIB Habits. I'm Susie B, and this is Habits and Humor. Come to laugh, stay to learn, choose to live.